did that. Welcome to Wax's podcast.
Yeah.
Wax's podcast.
Jeff.
Talking man. Oh man, my timing is fucked up. It's hard to play and sing at the same time. Wax's podcast.
Talking mad shit about an interesting facts.
Wax's podcast. Listen to it every Wednesday. I'm talking about Wax's podcast. Bitchin' back Wax's podcast. Listen to it every Wednesday. That was fucking brilliant, man. That was fucking brilliant.
Man, that jingle was one of the best numbers that I've heard.
Oh, God, that was brilliant. I can't believe he just did that.
Yeah, did you record? You recorded that, right?
I did. Thank God.
Maybe we should use that on the album.
I think we should use that on the album. Sometimes that you can't really like see how the cricket is going right now?
It really captures the moment.
It captures the moment. Some people would be like, I can't believe they left the cricket in there on track 4.
But I actually think when I listen up, say, you know what? I'm glad they left the cricket in there.
I totally know what you mean. Some people would be like, what is there, a cricket in the studio or something? Like, maybe they should have recorded the podcast in a different studio. But what they don't know, there wasn't a cricket in the studio. We added the cricket on track 3.
We actually went out into the wilderness and found the perfect cricket tone.
After auditioning not thousands, let's be honest, maybe 100?
It was probably
Dozens.
about 80 to 90 crickets.
Dozens of crickets to find the perfect chirp.
And some of them failed. And you know what we did? We smashed them. Every one that didn't sound good, we smashed.
And after, I would say about 73 or 74 crushed cricket carcasses all over the floor of the studio, in walked Jefferson.
Jefferson, the perfect sounding cricket.
And we just put him in front of the mic. He didn't even chirp until we hit record.
And it was the most natural sounding chirp. And we said, done.
Sometimes you have to go to the source. Sometimes you can't sample. Sample. Sure. I'm
why
sure
don't you
there's.
get your synthesizer out on your computer?
Excuse me, Google robot. Knock, knock, knock. Google robot. Quote, cricket chirp, unquote. I'm sure there's
Let me
plenty.
type it in my search engine browser. Let me in my browser search engine type cricket sound effects. Maybe I can go on YouTube and rip them off of YouTube, and then I'll put them in, and it'll sound so natural.
It
Guess
won't
what?
sound
It
natural.
won't.
It's not in that.
I can
Oh,
tell.
did you put the distant dog bark? Did you put the distant dog bark on track 4 like I
Guess
told
what?
you to?
That's Rex.
Oh, that was such a great day when we recorded Jefferson and Rex. And
I
I think it was the right thing to do to kill them afterwards.
I think it was. I was going to say we didn't have to kill Jefferson, but Rex was hungry, so we fed him to Rex. And then, do you want to tell him what happened to Rex?
Let's be honest. He barked a lot.
The first few barks were perfect for ambient noise.
Oh, so nice. That's why we're still using. See it? Hear
There
it?
it is.
Hear it?
Rex.
Shh.
Oh yes. That's so perfect.
Rex.
But he just kept barking.
He just wouldn't shut the. Let's be honest. He wouldn't stop barking. And what happens when a dog? What happens when I get a little angry? What happens?
Well, we let's just say we were recording in my garage, and I had my car there.
Yeah.
We turned it on, and we left, but Rex didn't.
We left. Rex didn't. That fucking dog bark's gonna be annoying. Oh, did I just manifest his
You manifested his. You manifested. You thought it, and you made it.
Oh,
to
Rex!
fruition.
I was trying to, having this cricket noise. I think that if somebody was listening to this podcast and they're we're in the room with us, hearing the amazing conversation, I don't think they would notice the cricket chirping after a while. But if we notice it, they're gonna notice it. God, there is a lot of background noise in your studio. How do you record fucking rap vocals in here? What are all your songs about camping?
No. Usually the crickets.
I was
not like
in
that.
the wilderness.
I just use them as ad libs.
You want to chill with Chris? Go to the wilderness. You want to chill
roast
with Chris?
marshmallows, roast the marshmallows.
In the
I roast
wilderness.
marshmallows, roast the marshmallows. I roast marshmallows, roast the marshmallows, roast marshmallows, roast the marshmallows. Got the s'mores, get the s'mores, some more s'mores. Would you like some more s'mores? 7 years ago, I got more snores than 7 beers a hoe. More s'mores, 4 scores. I bored the Porsche, I bore floors, of course.
Ordered some oranges and porridge, stored them in my stores for later. Then I saw an alligator, cause all I do is be in the wilderness when I chill with Chris. You wanna get as ill as this? I think not. My shit is too hot, like the campfire that we got in the parking lot.
Who's got the kindling?
I do.
I'ma do some swindling.
Yeah, I do.
Then I'll do some mingling.
Okay.
I'm feeling kind of singling.
No way.
Single me out and riddle me this. My name is Chris. I like the wilderness. Yes, I like the campfires. You don't like it? You a damn lie. Yes. The wilderness is fresh. Watch out for the bears. Bring your camping chairs.
Kumbaya,
my lord. Kumbaya.
In the wilderness.
Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. Check a kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya.
Yeah.
Ooh la la, I kumbaya on a boombaye with the blue pop.
Yo. Anyway, I guess that's how the podcast is gonna start this time.
I guess that's just how the podcast is gonna be.
I just think that when people listen to this podcast, I think that they're gonna want to feel like somebody understands what they're going through, you know. And I think that I do.
I wish that someone would feel that way about me sometimes. I just
They
feel
would
like
relate
I
to you and understand.
Go through life and I have a positive attitude and I value myself and I value others, but still it feels like I don't know that life is worth living sometimes.
At times, I want to feel like this, but I really feel like that. You know? Does that make sense to you?
It totally makes sense
Like,
to me.
I want to feel like this, but inside, I feel like this. Inside, I feel like this. Outside, I feel... outside, I look like this. Inside, I feel like this. That actually sounded too good. Inside, I feel like that.
Yeah.
Outside, I feel like this. Outside, I look like this. Inside, I feel like this. But
the major chord is the Instagram post, and the other one is your inner thoughts.
yeah.
Live, love, laugh.
Live, love, laugh. Insert picture of me looking wonderful. You know, I just think that we need to accept our bodies, and no matter what anybody says, I'm body positive. But inside, I feel like, what's wrong with my chin? Why do I have that weird bump on it?
Have I always had that mole there?
I feel like it just looks like I'm fat all the time.
Are my toes getting old?
My Instagram is like, insert picture of me with my ass is kind of photoshopped. I learned how to use Photoshop just for Instagram. I never would have used Photoshop because of making my skills better in life. They tried to teach it in college. I even took an art and design class. I never really fully learned it, but once I got Instagram, I learned it to make my butt look way better.
And I turned around so that my butt was showing, and I didn't intend to put it there. But I did have to Photoshop it so that it looked perfect.
And then I said, how about everybody in the world calm down a little bit and just love each other? This is the caption that I said.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Hashtag family first. Hashtag personal growth.
I believe you. If something wrong happened to you, stand up and tell everybody about it and be honest, and everybody can be true to their most innermost spiritual, deepest selves, because we always manifest everything that we believe to be true within our deepest destinies. And inside, I felt like, why does my face always look so old?
Should I get injections in my butt? I don't want to Photoshop anymore.
I'm so tired of not being comfortable with the way that I look, feel, smell, and taste even, honestly.
Why won't Jeffrey touch me anymore?
Not because my vagina is weird, but inside I felt like this. I just feel like some days I just don't understand what the point of it all is. Do you ever get like that? Or do you I mean, you feel...
No. I mean, if I'm being honest, sometimes when I'm driving Connor to school...
Yeah.
Love
Connor. He's great.
Yeah. Did you see my post of him with his sign? First day of third grade?
First day of third. I can't
favorite
believe
color,
that much
red.
time
Favorite,
has gone by.
Favorite food, pizza. Favorite thing to do, play video games. First day of third grade. Teacher, Miss Robinson.
And I bet you when you look at his little face, it's all worth it, isn't it?
The crickets seemed appropriate.
You know...
Well, I did get him to school today. On the way home, I was driving over the Coronado Bridge.
Okay.
And I thought about turning the wheel. Very, very suddenly, and just,
but in a hypothetical,
right?
You never.
But it's
you never do it.
Totally, right? Totally worth living. It's so worth it.
Oh, sad.
I
guess I can. I mean, I never would ever think about doing something like that, but I can tell you that. Yeah, the other day I was heading home from Trader Joe's, and Nora was in the back seat. And she's, I love her so.
Oh, she's so. I
love her so
saw
much,
your
but
post.
she can be.
She's,
she's a little difficult in a really adorable way. She's really difficult. She was throwing
sort of a teenage 3-year-old.
She was throwing those Trader Joe's salted honey mustard pretzel bits at me, and I just thought, I just kind of imagined what it would be like if I took those pretzels, maybe like I'd say 2 dozen of them, and forced them into her mouth. And how does that feel? How does that feel?
Shut up!
How does
now,
that feel,
bitch.
you little bitch?
It's just a thought. It's totally just a thought.
Hypothetical.
It's hypothetical. It's totally okay, and life is going. I'm so happy for you. It's saying so.
I can tell that you're just doing great, though.
I'm
third grade. Wow. I remember when you first had Connor. That was crazy. You thought life was going to be great after that, right?
Yeah, right when I had him and he came out, I had heard I was going to feel a overcoming sensation of love and compassion and caring and
that
and
moment
tenderness.
when you first look at his face.
And I just thought it was just a passing thought. It was not. It just, can you shove him back in there and maybe wait a little while, or maybe someone else could take him because I want to go have a glass of white wine.
I get it. I remember when my first came out. I have Nora. She's my youngest, but my oldest is Noah. I have Noah and Nora. Noah and Nora. Why would you name them so similarly? I don't Noah. Okay, and I wish I could ignore. Okay, anyhow, so the first time that I had,
what did Ron think of your as a
well,
husband and a
Ron,
father?
I mean, Ron is a little absent. He does spend a lot of time at the happy hour, especially on Mondays, which just seems inappropriate, especially considering Noah has soccer practice, and he hasn't been in a couple weeks because of Noah's drinking routine. But I just wanted to get into the fact that when I first laid my eyes on my firstborn son, I wasn't really I didn't feel like he was mine. I almost felt just like looking at some random baby.
For me, it wasn't so much love as a feeling of deep regret and shame and horror.
I got to be honest with you. You know what I always dreamed of surfing. In a place like Costa Rica or Puerto Rico, something with reek, like Eureka,
yeah.
And when I saw Noah's face, I saw the waves get flat.
Yeah,
and that's both figurative and literal. I saw the waves flatten and my dreams of surfing.
Did you physically feel your dreams and hopes die? Because I did.
Yeah, I did. And what's weird is when I saw Noah, I saw Ron. because he looks
And
just like his father.
Just like
of course, he
his-
looks like that because that's who I procreated with. But I
And
I just wish he looked like, you know who.
Yeah. How's it
I
going?
just have this real regret. Regret. You remember Steve?
I do.
I just wish I was Steve instead of Ron. But just hypothetically.
He was.
Hypothetically, I wish.
I did see Steve, his Facebook post the other day about how he just made, he started his third new company, and he has that bitch of a wife of his.
No kids either.
No kids.
It's so weird because I think he's always in Costa Rica and surfing all the time. But yeah, I'm not big whoop. I love Nora and Noah.
It's so worth it to have Connor for
It's
me.
the best. I wrote a song about it.
You did?
It goes, Nora and Noah, I love you so much. Nora and Noah, I'm fascinated by your every touch. But when I look at you, I feel nothing at all. I sang this when I was by myself. I didn't sing it.
You didn't sing it.
It's not recording this.
Well, we can delete it later.
Okay,
So,
You want to hear the second verse?
yeah.
Nora y Noah in Spanish.
Oh, beautiful.
Mi amiga y mi amiga. Mi amor, the one that I adore, but I love her so more. I never had you at all. I don't know. I think about changing it a little bit. You know?
Yeah, I would maybe do a little more like the last part.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe put it on like a Hallmark card. You know what I mean?
yeah, maybe give that sing that on their birthday because you're in the state of
I
remembrance.
feel like just running away. Just run away. Fuck it.
You want to go? Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get a couple bottles of wine and go to Vegas. And when they call us, we'll just be like, fuck yeah.
Fuck
But
you.
of course, we could never do that.
Fuck you, Ron. I'm fucking Steve.
What's going on with you, man?
Chilling, man. Just in the studio.
Yay!
You know, just got everything working.
Yeah,
Everything's
man.
working. Ship
You
shape.
got a new
Shape.
new microphone. You got new speakers.
Yeah.
We're over here in what I've been calling Herbal T. This is Wax, by the way.
Herbal T. What's good?
And this is Wax's podcast. We're here in the studio, Day Herbs. What the studio I'm dubbing One Stick Studio. The one stick laboratory, because Herbs got his drum set up. And Herbs is always kind of like in this state of disrepair. You know what I mean? Like his studio works like barely. You know what I mean? He set up his drum set, and he's like, yeah, but I only got one stick.
Yeah.
He's got a fucking
It
drum
was
set.
an all day. I've been trying to find time to set them up for like a year.
And then
I finally took a whole day. I straightened out my garage. I got the drum set up. I had it all ready to go, and I was like, man, I'm gonna play a beat. Search.
all of a sudden, you need a drummer from Def Leppard.
Yep. All of a sudden, I was playing "Pour Some Sugar on Me," and that was that.
And if you look at his kick drum, if you guys don't know what a kick drum is, it's the biggest drum that lays on. It's on the ground. It's shaped like a big cylinder. And if there was nothing to hold it steady, it would just roll around like a cylindrical thing would do, like a soup can or whatever. So they have legs that are on the side, but his doesn't have legs. So he bought some legs and they didn't fit right. So the box that the legs came in is now holding it up. Behind the whole thing sits a lawnmower. He's got a keyboard and congas, but neither have stands. So the keyboard is held up by two conga drums, which are a keyboard stand, rendering the congas useless.
I have a conga stand, but how am I going to put them in the stand when I need them as a keyboard stand?
That's a good question. A question that's plagued the minds of many. Many musicians over the years have wondered that same thing. Sometimes you can't get enough stands. You know?
You really can never have enough stands.
That's what Ben E. King wrote Stand By Me about. I wish I had a stand by me. Oh, stand by me. 'Cause my keyboard is falling.
Is falling. Yeah, man. Down here at the 1-6 Studios, we got a guitar here. We got I got some stuff though, man. I got Got some equipment and all that. Go ahead. Go for it.
Stand by me. Oh, stand by me. I wish I had a stand. Stand by me.
Stand by me.
If the sky that we look upon should crumble and fall on the mountain, should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no I won't shed a tear, just as long as I've got to stand by me. My keyboard's falling down, I need a stand by me. Oh, stand on my kick drum. Oh, stand on my bongos and my congos too.
Round of applause.
The
whole crowd gave you an applause.
The
right
whole
there.
crowd did? The cricket's been
crowd.
fucking going hard the whole time.
Yeah.
The cricket's chirping is supposed to be nobody reacting, but in the case of us right now, it's the only crowd member we got. So how are you going to know if a cricket's actually... How would you know if a cricket is actually showing approval?
They stopped.
They shut the fuck up?
Shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're a pitiful twerp. That just show you can't even get the cricket to chirp. Where's that from? That's this thing I wrote a long time ago. You a pitiful twerp.
I never heard
show
that.
You can't even get the crickets to chirp. Or miserable twerp. Something with twerp. I don't know.
Twerp. You like using those
I like the word
insults
twerp.
like twerps and doofus.
Dimwit, Nimrod. You're a fucking Nimrod.
I've been God.
I get a rim job from a Nimrod. You're a slim... I got a slim mob. A bunch of skinny gangsters. Mini wanksters. A bunch of Rin Tin Tinny pranksters. I got a homie named Vinny Malanksters. You know what I'm saying? Malanksters is a very common last name. Mm-hmm. That's why that freestyle works. Oh shit! You know
that sound like
Say fine, feel like you want me to. Trust me with the side. Feel like you with the side. Feel like you want me side. Yeah. Such a little child. It's gonna be such a party, yeah. Sip on me, sip on.
What's his name? What's that guy's name?
Billy Corrigan.
Billy
playing
Corrigan
the
playing a
organ.
silly organ. I'm really Morgan.
I'm really Horde, son. I'm like Roy Orbison.
I had a that
mixed with Billy Corrigan. Roy Orbison.
This morning I
Ford
wrote.
Torreson.
I wrote in my my rap notebook Billie Eilish and really stylish. It's a good rhyme. You can have that for free.
I've thought of that rhyme already.
Of course.
Already thought of that.
Someone's probably already released
probably.
that. Yeah. No, but he. Do you think he was like, if it is party, get some of those chimes? You know, like.
What the fuck did you just say?
That was a bit my impression of him because he talks
doing
like
what?
that.
Doing what? You're not talking to the mic.
He talks like that. Oh damn, I'm not.
Billy Corrigan?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. He talks like regular.
He doesn't talk like the way he sings?
Like if somebody's like, Billy, we heard your new album. Where did you get the inspiration for that one song where you went, touch me with a smile?
I got it from I was walking. I got it from the Simon's cat. Simon's dream comes from Simon's cat. Today was the grass. Because if there was a dream, have my Siamese cats and be like two identical dreams. Touch me with a smile. Can you have any orchestral chimes you can put in? Perfect melody.
But not everybody talks in their singing voice. Be Real don't talk
Nah,
like that.
Be Real has said in several interviews about how he like came
He's
up
like,
with that.
yo, I just one day people were like, yo, your rap voice sounds just so regular. And I was like really high that day, just taking a bunch of hits from the bong. So I was just like, get the
And then what on the pan, I saw the best of the dope that man in the frying pan.
go, judge a plan.
I saw
Yo,
thinking,
so
I saw lover when I go out drinking.
So I was just like chilling out with the homies, and I was just like, it's all that the fun that you don't check a point. It sounds like a fucking racist Asian accent.
Yeah, man. Me and Sen Dog was just chilling, taking some puffs off of the Mary Jane back in '92, and I was just rapping, and Muggs was like, "That's not the right voice that you want to use." So I thought maybe a little better if I did.
Here is something you can't. I
What
got
the point with the coin to just Sam? Go with the coin to bam, bam with the coin to shut it. It sounds like a racist Asian accent, doesn't it?
That's fucked up. It does.
And then Sendog was like, "Yo, I was just chilling," and then I was like, so Be Real was like, "Why don't you just be my hype man?" And then he was like, "Want that the pan?" And I was like, "Pan, San." He was like, "No, that's not enough." So I was like, "What if I take?" So I was taking a big ass hit of weed, and it was still held in. So I was like,
put my stick on the cover and the stop on the rubber. What's the really good stuff?
What a great fucking group, man. They're one of the best. They're actually, even though they're not,
I would never want people to think we actually are making fun of
Cypress
them.
Hill
They're just fun.
is-
They're like on most.
they're huge and they're underrated.
Still underrated.
Underrated. They're
especially
first shit.
Muggs. Especially Muggs.
Yeah. They're
So fucking funky. That's like some of the funkiest goddamn music. The fucking Three Little Pigs joint. The
Holy shit.
Oh.
Oh, well.
yeah, you gotta really bend it.
I'm fucking up.
You might need to go a half step up on that. I think it's.
Yeah, I'm
like
fucking
that.
up. I
Something
fucked
like
it
that.
up, but if anybody knows that song, they
Yeah.
know that it's funky.
That song.
So if Cypress Hill ever hears this, I've met Be Real before.
You did?
I did his podcast or his radio show one time.
No shit.
He was super cool. I was very. That's one of those times where I was very intimidated.
Yeah.
I was very intimidated by his presence. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't by Snoop Dogg. I don't know why.
That's weird.
Snoop Dogg, after talking to him for 5 seconds, I thought he was just like some dude I knew. It's weird.
That interview that you had with Snoop Dogg was tight.
It's one of the best moments of my life.
Yeah. Can never take that away,
You can
man.
never take that away.
Because a lot of people like it's such a common like thing, especially among like stoners, especially when they're like young stoners. They're like, dude, I would love to just smoke some weed with Snoop, man. And that's just like being in a circle and literally physically being there. You just sat there with them like and bullshitted.
One-on-one. For
One-on-one.
about fucking 45 minutes.
That's fucking
crazy.
sick, man.
And that's crazy to think about. Like, if you think about how valuable Snoop Dogg's time is. Like,
Right.
what he, like, with 45 minutes, if he was in a studio, he could make $10 million off a verse that he wrote in 45 minutes.
How much money did he make from that interview with you? He made lots, right?
Probably not much. But I know he learned a lot of valuable knowledge that I imparted on him.
It was really, he must have been so intimidated by
I've
you.
heard that he talks about me a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
he talks about the interview he did with me a lot.
Yeah, I think he learned a lot. He probably you introduced him to some new weed smoking techniques and strains of weed.
I did. I taught him everything he knows. Actually, everything he
Right.
knows. He didn't know how to roll a blunt actually until I taught him.
And you taught him
Because I'm so good at rolling blunts.
I see.
I suck at a lot of things weed related. A lot of things weed related I suck at. I'm one of those people that never really like perfects anything. Every time I do something like whether it's like rolling a blunt or like changing a tire, every time I do it, it feels like the first time I fucking did
I know
it.
what you mean. I was just, you know what I was doing? I did recently is, and I've done this tons of times, is jump start a car. And
Right. It still kind of feels like
I
the
still
first
feel like
time.
I'm going to electrocute myself every time, even though I've done it 30 times.
Yeah, I've probably jumped the started a car 30 times, and every single time I'm like, this is the time I'm gonna die because it's kind of the first time I've ever done it.
Yeah, changing a tire, that's the same thing.
Well, changing a tire every single time when I put the jack under there, I'm like, is this the part that's gonna hold up the car? Is this some bullshit plastic that's gonna make the whole thing fall on me and crush my arms? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not really good with that kind of shit anyway. You know, I'm not a fucking you know, I know people that are true like I work with my hands, like fucking handyman. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. I'll never be like that's people are naturally that.
I never thought of the parallel between like you use the example of rolling a blunt and then like changing a tire. I never would have thought of those as parallel things, but it's working with your hands.
And it's not just the skill level thing. It's the desire to get good.
The intention of it. And
the desire to get good. I remember fucking Benny Balderson used to sit there when we were in high school and just roll blunts all day and joints and this cone joints, which at the time was like incredible.
No, yeah, back then.
Now every fucking 15-year-old can roll like amazing. I don't know though.
I'm not going to name a name, but there's certain I can think of two people that I know very well that are much older than me that I've seen roll like they are like people that used to smoke weed back in like the 60s and 70s.
Right.
And I've seen them in situations now where they kind of went back to it, and despite the long lapse of time, in 10 seconds roll a joint that looks like a fucking manufactured cigarette, like perfect.
Right.
Because I think back then it was more. I think they just did that. Maybe it was weaker weed, so they had to smoke a ton of joints, like smoked them like cigarettes, kind of.
There's also you know what rolling a joint is like? Rolling a joint is like your jump shot in basketball. Like you learn it and then you never change it. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not a basketball player. I never like worked on my jump shot. Like when I rolled my joints and they were pregnant in the middle. Mm-hmm. Still pregnant in the middle because I never fixed it. I never took a day and was like, you know what, I'm gonna perfect my joint rolling skills. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not really the kind of person that I am to perfect stuff like that. Some people are. That's
like Jiro dreaming of sushi. You know what I mean? You ever seen that documentary?
No, but I'm assuming it's about a sushi chef.
You've never heard of it?
No.
You never heard of Jiro Dreams of Sushi?
No.
Oh well, you're not gonna get one of the lines in my new song then, because I definitely reference it. It's a very, very popular Netflix documentary.
This is one of those things where you always think I talk about shit no one's heard of, but
everybody knows Jiro Dreams of Sushi because it's not just the documentary. It's like there's a, you know, everybody talks about the Gladwell 10,000 hours.
Even if you didn't,
you ain't
read
never
it.
read the fucking book. I ain't never read that fucking Outliers book. I just know the 10,000 hours. Jiro Dreams of Sushi is like, the concept is that Jiro is this fucking world-renowned sushi guy, and he spends all of his life, all of his waking hours perfecting making sushi. Not specialty rolls, not weird fucking hipster, you know, fucking like.
You know what? I think I have.
He just makes fucking sushi.
I think I've seen a clip of it or something.
A piece of fish.
Yeah. The basic shit, like the
nigiri.
You ever read? There's a famous book called. There's this chef named Thomas Keller.
You making shit up?
No, I'm not. I'm not making shit up. There's a famous book. I believe it's called Soul of a Chef, and there's this guy named Thomas Keller, and he runs. I don't know if I assume it's still there, but there's this place in Napa Valley called the French Laundry. For years, it was known as the best restaurant in the world, and he was on some Zen shit where it was like a simple broth, but he would take it to a level of perfectionism that was like unreasonable as far as, you know, the exact things he would put in there and how pure it had to be and shit.
Well, the Jiro Dreams of Sushi thing is more the philosophy behind it is less about perfection and more about don't be a jack of all trades, be a master at one.
Oh, right, yeah.
He knows how to do one fucking thing and he does it over and over again until it's amazing. So it's kind of like rolling a joint. Whereas being a songwriter, you can't, like, what I do is like is not like that. It's like it's not like being it's not like working in a factory where you're a cog in the wheel and you become like an expert at doing one thing. Like you kind of like, you know a little bit about production, you know a little bit about melody, you can kind of sing, you can kind of rap, you can kind of play guitar, you can kind of play keys, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of a jack of all trades, but you can't, I mean,
But music has that
it's all
in
very
there
subjective
too.
too.
There's virtuoso musicians who do sit there and spend hours getting the technique down. Where even if they're doing creative stuff, there's still a certain level of mechanical shit that you have to just sit there and practice. And some people are actually doing, like, in classical music, like you're taking pieces and interpreting them, but you're still like, you're kind of like doing what the sushi chef guy does, no?
Right.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
I've always been a jack of all trades type of dude, where like music is the main example, I guess, but like I'll fuck around and play the instruments.
No, you're a prime example of a jack of all trades when it comes to music. Like when we were in college, you perfected the harmonica for a little bit. You were a DJ. You did scratching.
I don't know if that's from just like getting bored with one thing or impatient. I think it's just like even when we were playing in the band, like I wasn't sitting there practicing bass riffs over and over. I would play bass and practice and just like play along with shit and improvise, but not like I need to get I wouldn't do like dexterity exercises and shit like that and rudiments for drums and shit. I probably did it for drums more than any other instrument though, just like playing beats for like over and over again until they sound better. That's more, I think that's an instrument that calls for that though. You just, because you could play a beat and it's just sloppy and you're just to play it over and over and perfect it.
But you can get good enough. Like I know somebody who's in a band and like the drummer's good enough to be in the band. He ain't really gonna get better necessarily, but he's good enough to be in the band, and he's not gonna deprove to the point where they're gonna kick him out the band.
Yeah, I think the
because he plays drums in that. He's not like this dude I'm talking about. He's not like a drummer, but he's a drummer for that band. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It works for that band.
He's perfect for the band, but like if he tried to fucking go to LA and try out, do all the tryouts or whatever.
Yeah, it's not going to be a studio musician.
They're not going to pick him from an audition.
Like like those studio musicians. That's great. Like I mean, Davey's a good example. Like just throw him in any genre and they'll like know how to do it.
Right.
Like a drummer that can like fucking play like Max Roach style jazz or like metal. Like there's a lot of people out there that can do all that shit.
Right. That's true. That's true what you're saying, man. I can't.
Yeah, exactly. It's more of a
exactly.
You know, Vinnie Paul / Mike Clark /
Mike Clark.
That's a random jazz drummer, right? Isn't that Mike Clark?
Mike Clark?
Yeah, no, he is. No. He is. Yes, he is. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Clyde Stubblefield /
I don't believe that Mike Clark is.
Mike Clark is a drummer. Google it. Mike Clark's Prescription Renewal is the name of his solo project.
Oh, well.
He was a drummer in like a jam band or something.
He is a drummer. How the fuck do you know about this guy?
Come on, man.
Holy shit, he looks funny. Hi, I'm Mike Clark. Mike Clark, finally back in Bay Area for a series of shows. Thank God. He's an older guy, huh?
He was in a famous band at some point. He was in something.
Well, he played with Herbie Hancock.
That's what it was. He was in Herbie
Hancock. He
Hancock.
gained worldwide recognition as one of America's foremost jazz and funk drummers while playing with Herbie Hancock in the early 70s. Well, fuck me in the ass and call me Mike Clark, you know? Kick me in the ass with a steel-toed boot and call me Dorothy because I was wrong.
He may have played on all the classics. That might be why I know him, like the Watermelon Man and all that shit.
Well, shit on my face and call me Daniel. Mike Clark really is a drummer. Well, spit directly in the asshole and call me Vanessa Hudgens. Mike Clark really is a drummer for Herbie Hancock. Wow.
Stupid.
Fuck me in my ass and call me Charles in Charge. Herbie Hancock's drummer's name is Mike Clark. Is that over? Am I overdoing it?
No. You're only about 10% where you need to be. You need at least 70 more of those.
Open up my anus as wide as possible with vice grips going the opposite way. Fill it to the brim with pasta, and then call me Daniel Negriathan. Mike Clark is actually a real person, and you didn't make it up.
Mm-hmm.
This is getting dumb now. Is vulgarity funny by nature?
Well,
just in itself?
I think it can be.
I think it is.
Well, but I don't think it's just funny to say something vulgar. But if you say it, it's timing. I know that my kids are like certain. It's almost like it still has to be done right. You can't just the word fuck is not funny. But if like someone does something, it's just like fuck. The kids think that's funny as shit.
Because the guy said fuck?
Just because if it's a reaction to something.
Right.
You know, they don't think just saying something bad is funny in itself.
I was thinking more of just like, almost like the joke, the aristocrats. Almost like the aristocrats.
How much
just say that
vulgar shit can
the
you
most
say?
Disgusting thing you could possibly say.
Like you just
funny
did, like,
inherently.
Just like
I think so.
saying shit like,
that's why the
I met
aristocrats.
this girl
is a
and
joke.
you fucking, and just say like,
Yeah.
she opened her asshole and I came until she, like whatever, you know. Why'd you do that? You
Just fucking with you.
He just gave me a signal like,
Whoa,
hey,
wait.
Hey, this is a family show.
It was okay when I said it. This is Wax's podcast, okay? It's like,
Can I
just farted.
Can I have my own? I want my own podcast.
Farts.
Farts are funny.
I think they're still
Farts
funny.
are funny.
I think that your kids are starting to, because I used to just love, since they used to think that farts were so funny, and I would just be like, just say the word fart and they would laugh. I think they're done with that now, and it's kind of sad.
They still like silly, funny shit though.
They used to call me Uncle Fart and laugh forever, just calling me Uncle Fart. I wonder if they would still laugh at that.
They probably would.
Or are the
days of innocence are gone.
In my heart, they used to call me Uncle Fart. Breaks my heart that they no longer call me Uncle Fart. I wish they would, yeah, I wish that they could call me Uncle Fart. Fail. Sometimes you just try to, you try, Chris.
No, it was good.
You commit to the bit. I guess I didn't fully commit. I quit the bit.
You quit the bit, didn't fully commit.
Quit the bit, didn't fully commit.
Quit the bit, didn't fully commit. Yeah, quit the bit, I didn't fully commit. I don't give a shit, I didn't fully commit. I quit the bit, I don't give a shit, I didn't commit. I didn't commit.
Shit. Quit the bit, didn't commit. Yeah, bit, simple that. When I say chicken, cross the road.
To the other side, other side.
When I say chicken, ate a toad.
Croak.
When I say what type of suspenders? What's that? What type of suspenders do fire? Why do firemen wear red suspenders?
To keep their pants up.
You gotta commit to the bit. Commit to the bit. You don't quit. You commit
to the bit.
You don't quit. You commit
to the bit.
You don't quit.
When the crowd doesn't react and they don't say shit, you commit to the bit. Commit to the bit.
When you say something unfunny and a chirp from a cricket, you commit to the bit. You commit to the bit.
You were expecting an outrageous laughing fit, but you commit to the bit.
Commit to the bit. You thought you were too legit to quit, but you fucking stepped in shit. You commit
to the bit.
Commit to the bit.
You thought the kids would say your shit was #lit, but you commit to the bit.
Commit to the bit. You wrote a song that failed. Thought that it would be a hit. But you commit to the bit. You commit to the bit.
Train Trivial Pursuit, and you didn't get your chit. Commit to the bit.
Commit to the bit. You thought it was really funny if you got your grandma out on stage and she would do a little knit. You know what I mean? But you commit to the bit. Commit to the bit.
You laughed at the baseball player when he didn't catch the ball with his mitt.
Commit to the bit. Commit to the bit. You were at your job and you thought sarcastically you'd tell your boss, I quit.
Commit to the bit.
2 weeks later, you still commit to the bit. He's like, why didn't you come in?
Why didn't you? I just thought it would be funny, sir, if I just told
3
you
weeks
I quit.
later, psych. 3 weeks later, psych. 3 weeks later, psych.
Not.
3 weeks later, just kidding. Commit to the bit. Commit to the bit. Excuse me, boss. I know that a year ago I quit and I got my pension plan and my severance package, even though that's usually what you get when you're fired. I think I got the terminology wrong, but that doesn't matter because the whole thing was sarcastic. Give me my benefits back. I'll be there Monday. Punch on the shoulder. You know what I mean? Friendly little shoulder punch.
You knew I was kidding, right? You know it.
Friendly little shoulder punch. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's do lunch. I commit to the bit. Commit to the bit.
A girl told me she was pregnant and she committed to the bit.
Committed to the bit. She said, Plan B. How about Plan C? How about Plan D? I said, oh, man. That's how long we could commit to that bit.
Yep, a little too long if you ask me.
Yeah. But I used to like, there used to be a genre of bit on SNL where like the whole thing was really just committing to a stupid bit.
That was, it was sort of like what Key and Peele did, where it was like they would just go further and further to the point of just stupidity.
Key and Peele are great at committing to the bit. They're the ultimate bit committers.
Yeah, they just keep going and going, and
I'm
that
sure
that one sketch where they'd say it's like an inside joke at my work where they have that joke where they're like, and I said, bitch.
Yeah, shit's funny.
Yeah, and then they're on like in outer space, fucking saying, and I said, bitch.
I love Key and Peele. They're funny, man. I don't care.
You don't care about what? People saying they ain't funny?
Well, I remember I saw that Dave Chappelle said in one of his things that they bit his shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, they didn't. I don't think they did.
I think
everybody loved to agree with him in the audience, but if you watch the two shows, A, they're different, and B, like, he didn't invent stand-up sketch comedy.
Yeah, that's true.
He didn't fucking invent that shit.
I'm not saying Key and Peele was as good. It is very different, actually.
I think it's super different.
It's very different. And
it's a different perspective.
They had their
different
own
style
thing.
of humor. It's a different style of comedy.
Chappelle's show had none of those bits like that one. The one
I don't
where,
see
there's
why
so
I don't
many
see
that they had in that same vein where it was
Yeah.
just silly shit where they just kept going further and more silly. And Chappelle's
I just
show
didn't
really
see
have
the
that.
reason to come at them like that. It seemed like it's to me everybody loved it and everybody was like, yeah, he's right because Dave Chappelle's the shit and everybody like he can kind of make everybody think that he's right. But in that case, I didn't think he was right. I was like, what? And so nobody's allowed to do a sketch show after
He's
you.
so funny and so smart and so respected that he could kind of like do whatever. He could do a comedy. I mean, I saw his last shit and I liked it, but I mean,
Yeah.
I think he could do anything and people would like it and be like, you know, like anyone that would criticize it. There's certain people that would be like, but that's Dave was a genius. He just you don't understand. He's, you know what I mean?
If you do something good enough, well enough, you can't really get that much criticism. It's kind of, until he kills somebody or rapes somebody or something. That's different.
Yeah.
But like just for saying stuff that's offensive, if you're really really good at what you do, it doesn't really matter. You know. But once you do something like Louis C.K. used to say shit that was wild, but it was funny.
Yeah.
But now people are like, he was never funny. You know?
It's weird to see how much shit he would say back in the day and get away with it, and like,
I still think that fool was funny.
yeah. I mean, people are, yeah. I mean, you can't really, we've talked about it before. It's like R. Kelly's a fucking musical genius. You know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Maybe some people that are fucked up like that are some of the most creative geniuses. I don't know.
I did. You want me?
You got to push limits. You got to push limits to be a creative genius, and maybe those people push weird limits in their regular life too. I don't know.
I finally deleted my "Step in the Name of Love" off of my
your party playlist.
Off my. I have a playlist called "Feel Good Shit," and it got to the point where I was listening to it. It's one of my favorite songs, dude. And I was listening to the last time I was listening to it. I was just like, dude, I can't not think about this shit, and I had to delete it from the list.
In the name of love, step in the name.
That's
I don't know those chords.
one thing's for sure.
I'm gonna put on my dancing shoes.
And go out and step the whole night
It's one of the
through.
fucking happiest songs of all time.
The passion that he sings that
The
song with
emotion
when he says
is,
he's gonna.
yeah. The emotion in that song is it just gets into you, you know? And maybe in order to have an emotional feeling that strong in a song, or even the feeling he had in I Believe I Can Fly, somehow he has to take that away take joy from other people.
Something, man. I don't know
Maybe
what.
there's
I don't
some
know
weird
what his
spiritual
deal-
shit going on like that.
I don't know what his deal is.
Because maybe, people like Robin Williams, they had to take all the joy from themselves in order to give everybody else joy. You know what I mean? Maybe if you're really
But that's
if you're
a more
putting
common
that much,
thing, though. That sad clown, or whatever the people say. Like a lot of the comedians are depressed and have no joy. But I don't think R. Kelly was like on. He was taking it, like you said, he was taking it from other people.
What I'm
So it
saying is
different.
there's somehow
Something-
some kind
balance,
of weird
some weird balance.
spiritual thing where like in order to put that much positivity, you have to almost take it. Like, remember back in the day, there was some weird like horror movie where like that troll would go to the people that were sleeping and suck.
Yeah, that was Cat's
suck
Eye.
the breath.
That
out
was
of
part
them.
of the movie Cat's Eye, which had like 3 different short stories.
It was really. I always
Yeah,
remember as
yeah.
a kid, there was this little tiny troll, and a child would be sleeping, and while they were asleep, the troll would go up and like cover their mouth and like breathe from their nose and suck the breath.
He had
out
a little
of them
sword.
to get it, and it's like that's what R. Kelly did to those girls. He took all their happiness out of them, and then
Well, there are
put it
people
onto
out there that
onto
believe like
happy people. Or
there are people out there that believe weird shit like. Did you ever see that documentary? What the fuck? That guy. It was in Africa. There's a guy in Liberia. There was a documentary, like a Vice one about, and they went and interviewed this guy. His name was like General Buck Naked.
Yeah,
Buck Naked.
Yeah. I remember that guy.
And his thing when he would eat the flesh of little kids and believe that it gave him power and shit like that. Like there are people out there that believe that I mean that's an odd parallel, but like taking that sort of power or whatever from something else, and then it becomes your own.
He said that in the movie.
Yeah.
It's a bold thing to say on camera.
No, he is like he's admitted to all the atrocities and stuff. Like he was a warlord, fucking.
He's just like, fuck it, yo,
Guerrilla
I'm
guy.
lawless, dude. He's just like, fuck it, I'm lawless. It's hard to judge people when they come up in a completely lawless society. You don't know what. It's very easy to judge. Judge people when you're not from where they're from. You know.
Well, he turned it around. You probably saw it then, where he became a preacher. Now he's like a preacher, and people are follow him and stuff.
I ain't going to that church. I don't give a fuck what.
Fuck no.
You think he knows? He don't know shit.
He's gonna bust in
Is
the
it
door
Christian?
right now.
He's like
Christian.
Christ.
Yeah,
Fuck
Christian.
out of here, dude. Are you kidding me?
Christian is a convenient religion for him because it means he can be forgiven for all his shit that he did.
Right, and they also are all about eating the flesh.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
It was Jesus. It was like Jesus' flesh.
Before I ate the baby, I blessed it.
in the body of Christ. Amen.
Body of Christ.
And then
Amen.
just hand you a baby.
Jesus, literally.
The blood of Christ. I mean, a little child.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Yo, you got to watch American Factory. Anybody out there? Speaking of
I
documentaries,
saw that's the Chinese factory that
you
comes
gotta
to like
watch
Ohio.
it, dude.
I heard that was
You
good.
gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. I saw like the preview for it and I was like, this looks boring. But when you watch it, you're like, I see why people think this is good. Holy shit!
Yeah.
I would watch it again. I watched it last
I heard
night.
the same thing. I saw the preview
2 nights ago. I watched it 2 nights
I was
ago.
talking
and I
to
would
someone
watch it
at
again.
work about it, and it was just like that had seen it. It was the same thing. I was like, because the preview says that it's like this story that's really intriguing, but then it's also like, oh, it's just some factory people that are working. But I can see how it would be interesting.
It's fucking crazy, dude. It's like the part that's interesting is the comparison of American workers and the level of efficiency of American workers to the Chinese workers.
Right.
It's crazy. It's wild, dude. It's wild. I thought, and there's so much unintentional comedy that the like, because it's all like American factory workers from Dayton, Ohio, you know. And I swear to God, it almost seems like they purposely picked people for certain roles that were like old, overweight, kind of like doofusy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just crazy, dude. It was wild. Some wild shit. But
I'll check it out.
certainly puts the cultural differences between America and China
It really
under a
shines a
microscope.
light on the cultural practices of
under
one
a
country versus the other, and it really, honestly, it reveals how similar we all are.
I would say
I haven't seen it. I was just, that's what
right.
a lot
I
of
know
times
what
that
you're
happens.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is similarities, and that people find the similarities, but the differences are astonishing,
They're stark.
startling, eye-opening, heartwarming, breathtaking.
So here we are, deep in the podcast. So, we haven't talked about the album release. How's that going?
Yeah, I put out my album 2 days ago. This album is called Bad, like the sound a sheep makes.
Mm-hmm.
It is on iTunes. It is on Spotify. It is on... Dude, I don't know what happened. It's not on Google Play. I don't know what the fuck happened. All the service that I use, it puts it on Google Play. This time it didn't. And I put it up early. I don't get it. But you can get a signed copy by yours truly.
Is it on Deezer?
I believe so.
I saw you talking. I actually was looking at I guess my shit's on Deezer. I think it might be something that they use in Europe or something. I think it might be more something they use over there. I made I think I made 35 cents from Deezer Netherlands or some shit. There's a couple people listen to my shit.
Deezer is my boy Doug's Weezer cover band. He's, you know what I'm saying? He's Doug and his Weezer, so he's like
Yeah,
Deezer,
I get it.
You know?
I get it. It sounds like a nickname though, like Doug. Someone named Doug. Walks in
Deezer.
What's up, Deezer?
What's up, Deez?
Yeah, we're going over to Deezer's house, drink some Miller High Lifes.
If you were going over to Deezer's house, there's definitely a keg there.
Yeah.
If you knew a dude named Deezer and you're going to his house, there's definitely
Kegger at
beer drinking.
Deezer's.
Hey man, we're going to a kegger at Deezer's. You want to roll?
Yeah.
I would want to roll.
Yeah.
When was the last time you went to a kegger? That's when you know you're getting old. Think about that question.
You know.
When was the last time you went to a party with a bunch of people drinking keg beer with red cups? Especially one where I don't even know if they still do this, where it's you pay $5 at the door for a red cup.
I haven't been with that.
Would they charge more than that now? Would it be more like $10 at the door for your red cup? Has inflation worked its
That's
way
a good
into
question. 'Cause
college keg parties?
That was a long time. It was $5 was a standard cup fee for a keg party a long time ago, and I still feel like it's probably similar because you can't charge 6 or 7. You got to either go 5 or 10.
I think you go 10 now.
You got to go 10.
I think you go 10.
Well, nowadays, for all I know, the kids they have a fucking keg of IPA or something.
Right.
It costs a lot more money.
I'm so out of touch with the fucking youth, dude.
The
I don't know
last time I was
I don't
at
know what the fucking youth
Every
is
now
doing.
and then, there's one particular one where they have. There's this one family that I know that I don't know. My wife knows them, and it's like they're a rich family, so we go to this kid's birthday party every year, and that's the only time I ever see them. Always have 2 kegs. Always have multiple piñatas. They have taco catering, like a catering service doing all grilled tacos, and 2 bouncy houses. But they always have 2 kegs: a keg of a Mexican beer and a keg of some kind of fancy schmancy beer, IPA or something. And those are the only times I ever go to parties with kegs.
That's still not the same.
That's not a keg party. It's a party.
It's not
that
a
has
kegger. There's bouncy houses with kids in them.
No, a kegger doesn't.
There might be bouncy house keggers that count as keggers if they're fucking sorority girls. Oh my god, my nipple shouting!
Oh my
so
god,
crazy
I
in
jumped up
here.
and my G-string came off.
Oh my god, I think the Molly just kicked in. It's so fun in the bouncy house. It's kind of like Burning Man was last year. Oh my fucking god! But that could be a kegger.
There probably are keggers with bouncy houses, and then they and the Deezer gets in and it fucking deflates because he's got his fucking cowboy boots on.
Fuck yeah, man! Deezer's deflated many a bouncy house.
Yeah. Dude,
That's
did
how
you
he
get a
got
bouncy house? Did you tell Deezer about the kegger tonight? Deezer.
Dude, don't
Sure,
tell
bro.
Deezer about the bouncy house. He's probably wearing his steel-toed cowboy boots because it's Saturday. Sorry, guys. Oh, cool. Let me try.
Cannonball.
No, Deezer, good. I swear this time.
Deezer.
Sorry, guys.
My bad, dude. Boom, boom, boom. Deezer's drunk again.
That's a good character. I mean,
Deezer's
obviously
the
there's
kind.
been a million movies about
Deezer
that,
is the
but-
name of the dude who like at a party like is like the. He's a little tips. He like throws girls into the pool when they really, really don't want to be thrown in, and he thinks he's doing it as a big joke, but he's actually a fucking.
He still behaves like the movies from the 80s when it's like not appropriate anymore.
Right. I haven't been to a party like that in a while. This is a fucking weird way to put it, but I can't remember the last time I went to a party where there was really any possibility whatsoever of a woman getting sexually assaulted. You know what I mean? Like, I can't remember. Like, I can't remember the last time I went to a party that was really like that.
That's
like
true.
an out of control party.
Like a wild party.
I feel like when I talk about partying in my songs, it's almost like Jay-Z talking about selling crack.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't talk about wild parties like that so much, you know? I don't think you're really talking about going to a kegger.
Right.
I mean, you mostly talk about going to the bar.
Yeah, that's true. I think when you get older, it's more about going to a bar, huh? Yeah, that's what it is. And when you're about what?
Keg parties are for people who
When
are
you're about-
underage or people who are still young enough to hang out with underage and it be appropriate.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Once you're like 25 or so,
Yeah.
it's more about bars.
Once you get to the point where hanging out with a 19-year-old would be weird, then it's definitely like, because that I feel like keg parties it's just for a certain age.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess then
It does sound fun to have one though, or go to one.
that would be a fun thing to do for like, if you had like a 40th birthday party and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna get all my fucking 40-year-old co-friends, my co-40-year-olds. And my 40-year-old party is we're going to do like a 19-year-old party.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it though.
No, you couldn't.
You couldn't do it.
Someone's going to break their neck trying to do a keg stand.
Yeah,
you know?
people get hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking the married couples would fight. You know what I mean? Yeah, you couldn't do it.
Everybody would be like getting calls from their babysitter.
Yeah.
No, we got to go because, we got to go... Whatever. Aiden wet the bed. We gotta go.
The closest thing you can do because when you're 40, that kind of partying, especially for women, it's more like it's less about getting crazy and more about a celebration's more about going to like a nice place. If you 21-year-old goes to Vegas, they get fucking wasted. 40-year-old goes to Vegas, they go to the nice bar and get wine and go to the top of the building, they have the rotating restaurant, and then maybe if they go to the nightclub, they get a bottle and sit in the they're like the booth next to them. Flow Ride is sitting at, and they're like, "Oh wow, we're doing it up tonight."
They go on the dance floor and they're like, "Oh my god, it's just like we used to do," you know?
Right. But all the young people are there, like, look at these old bitches. Getting all sloppy.
Yeah, I haven't been to a club in Vegas. Well, I
but
guess
no
ever,
matter
but
what, they're all gonna be like, here.
Were you to the minor major chord thing?
Yeah, I was gonna do that. Yeah,
that's a good one. That was a good one.
Good bit to commit to.
You got anything else you want to talk about?
Nope. Sure don't.
All right. I don't got nothing going on either.
Yet another Wax and Herbal T podcast in the books.
Wax and Herbal Tea podcast. Not much said, but a lot said.
Be safe out there.